And I would ask you, so what the commercial is for? It's basically for a cinema. And at the end of the video, they have a very good slogan. I really like their slogan. The slogan is, "See the big picture." But when they were thinking about how to create a video, a commercial for them, they took another message that is actually part of "See the big picture." And if you remember what the message is, it's make time for what you love. So make time for what you love is part of the main message, the main slogan, "See the big picture," and it's actually really creative because when you're seeing the big picture, it means two things. It means go to the movies, but at the same time it means a very more profound message. See the bigger picture in your life. See what's really important. So make time for what you love. The second element are characters and objects. Like I said, this is what we need for the emotional attachment to the communication. And I have visited the Arctic Museum this weekend, and I've learned that Finnish people look at their country, how is it formed, in a way of a maiden. So what we do usually, people, we always anthropomorphize. So we always transform non-living, let's say, objects or countries into something that we can have an emotional attachment. A beautiful young lady. And you know, it's really interesting. Slovenia is doing the same. So this is the Slovenia, the country where I come from. So we're bordering to Croatia, Italy, Austria, Hungary. And do you see the shape? How does it look like? We see it as a chicken. So what we do is, this is our form of a character. So not only do we transform our country into a living being, a chicken, what we then do, we even anthropomorphize that chicken, we transform the chicken into a person. So we dress the chicken up into our national clothes. So it's really similar to the Finnish version, but it's, yeah, let's say it's a bit more funny. Yeah. So about 100 years ago, there was a very, let's say, very classical book made. It's from a Russian scientist, Vladimir Prop, and it's called The Morphology of Fairy Tale or Folktale. He belonged to the line of formalists, and what they believed in was that you have a structure of all the narratives, and if you just take time and consider it very scientifically, we would also even call it mathematically, we would find the main elements of a narrative. And he discovered there are 31 functions of characters, and there are 7 types of characters. But to talk about one of those functions, function number 11 is hero leaves home. For example, a lot of stories have this element. So, and there can be a hero leaves home as a hero, like for example Indiana Jones, looking for experiences, looking for adventure. And what is a tourist? Usually a tourist is a person that envisions him or herself as being the hero that's leaving home. And it's a very, very long tradition. For example, back to the Greek times, that there has always been this element. You go away from your home to experience something new. But there's also another, let's say, sub-element of the hero leaves home, like Hansel and Gretel, where the hero is a victim because he or she does not want to leave the home. So, and in this element we do not see the tourist, but for example we see a migrant. This is like a metaphor for our nowadays ways of traveling also. And to go back to Prop and his 7 elements, 7 main characters of folktales and then to fairy tales. You probably know this, let's call it a saga. Yeah? We always have adversary, we always have the bad guy. We need him. We always have the benefactor, so this is the one that gives something to the hero. So he gives him power, or he gives him magical power, or he gives him, I don't know, for example a genie could also be a benefactor. We also always have a supporter. He's not the hero, but he is there to support the hero, to give him an emotional strength. For example, if you envision a Disney cartoon, there's always a funny supporter. If you think about Lion King, he always, the Lion King would not be Lion King without the 2 very interesting and funny friends. So their element is also usually humor. We always have a princess, And fortunately, in nowadays time, we can also have a prince and a princess, or a female hero who's rescuing a prince. But let's say 100 years ago, or even now, the stereotypes are in there. We have a dispatcher. This is someone who sends the hero out. It can be a king in a folktale, it can be a father saying, go out and find something. We have the main hero, and we also have the false hero. And his role is usually just to spice up the story. He's not the main hero, but he is an interesting element of the story. What's different in this one, in this story compared to others, is that the hero does not marry the princess. Why not? Because she's his sister. So the false hero this time marries the princess. There are main structures, but there are always, the interesting part of stories is how creative the authors are in making them new, different, in combining the different elements.